A little while ago, I had a couple of trees taken down, which left the stumps. So now I'm going to show you how I went from this to this, right after this. I'm about to start on a project. The project is to cut this tree stump up and burn it, and I'm going to burn it. So I'm going to mark it up into pieces here, sections off. After I mark it up, I'm going to take the chainsaw to it and try and cut out sections. After that, I'll set a date and time when I'm going to burn it. Now, the whole purpose of this is to not see how fast I can do it, but just to see if I can do it. Instead of having it grind up, burn it up. So we'll see. So let's get started. Burn it down to the ground, hopefully, so that I can flatten out the yard. I'm going to do this one first, and then next we'll go for the one that I'm working on over there as well. I put cuts in it here so they can breathe all the way down to the bottom like that. I'll chop some wood first. All right, so what I did, I just chopped up some wood. As you can see here, this is some of the wood that I'm going to put on top of the stump over here. Now, I also bought some charcoal. I'm going to burn the charcoal briquettes on top so that they can drop down into the grooves on there, and put the wood on top of it as well to help it burn. So then the goal is to burn the stump to the ground so I can flatten it out, pack it with some dirt and grass and all that. In the meantime, I'm going to have this beer. That's the wood that we're using, aid the stump burning. Of course, the stump is made of wood itself, so technically we shouldn't need any additional wood. But once the fire starts to spread, if we need more wood on the end or something like that to assist with the burning, that's what the extra wood is for. Plus, I'm using the charcoal. Hopefully, that'll keep it going. And of course, you know, you have to have your water hose ready and on hand just in case the fire gets out of, gets a little out of control. We have the water. Got the water hose ready. So I think we're about ready. Let's get started. All right, so now it's going to be a hurry up and wait situation. We'll check back in a bit. Got a long way to go, long night ahead of us. It's been about an hour or so now burning, and this is what it looks like. real quick, I just want to let you see what the stump looks like from the street when it's burning. Check it out. All right, folks, so hopefully this is the last burn for stump number 1. After that, we're going to head over and start on stump number 2. After this burns out tonight, we'll give it a couple of days to smolder out, throw some sod and stuff on top of it and start fertilizing it, reseed it, and hopefully someday it'll look like there was never a tree there. Okay, so now it's time for us to go and check out the aftermath of the last burn for the stump. We're gonna go out, see what it looks like. Then we're gonna measure it up, make sure it's leveled out the way we want it. Oops, knocking open. Okay, then we're gonna measure it up, make sure it's leveled out the way I want it, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a stake or stick or something. I'm gonna put it in at the highest level and take a string, go across the area to see if anything is higher than the highest part of the ground. So straight across, nothing sticking up. So now I'm gonna go across both sides just to make sure that nothing's sticking above on either side. Look here, I have a measure stick and it burned as low as 5.5 roughly. Over here, about 6 inches in the ground there, about 3 inches there, and about 4.5 inches there. So now I'm going to go around the whole thing just to make sure everything is burned below, and then I'm going to start packing it. And I'll put this topsoil right here on top. That is it. I have just applied the topsoil. Now the reality is by the time it rains, all of that's going to pack down even more, which means I'll probably have to apply another layer of topsoil, which I will do later. Right now we just want to get that on there now and, you know, start packing it down, and we'll put some more on later. I'm gonna prep this stump to be burned. Explain to you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut deeper into the stump. Here, you can see that we already have some of the cuts here. Some of the cuts are already here. I'm gonna cut deeper down in. Same way here. I'm gonna cut deeper into the stump. I'm gonna dig up sort of a ravine around it, around the perimeter of it, all the way around. I'm gonna dig probably to about out here, to about here, this portion, to here, about here. I'm gonna dig that out because I'm gonna put charcoal down in that area to help burn inwards. If we can get enough charcoal down there and enough wood, we'll burn inwards We're gonna put charcoal on top again, along with a starter log and more wood. The goal is to burn down and to burn inward. Put some additional cuts here and here. So what I'm going to do is dig up close to the roots where I cut as well, so that it'll get more air and it'll burn better. Right here, like here. So I'm going to dig up here and here on the sides. So I'm actually digging around it. I'm going to dig around it a little more so that, you know, we can get a better burn on it. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I dug around it. Another thing, I just want to let you know the dimensions on it. I never got a chance to do that. So we're going to measure it up to let you see what the burn dimensions are. We'll say 36 by about 37. Maybe about 18. I'm using a rough measurement. It's 36 by 36 and roughly about 17 inches down in it, the depth of it. However, I want to burn a little lower than 17 inches, of course, and you also have to take the roots into consideration. So I have to burn further out here. So that's going to come past the 36, of course. Bring this all the way out. That's going to be the dimensions. So now let me get the burn materials. This is all the wood we will be using on this initial burn. Hopefully this is a one burn deal. I can get it all done tonight, so I will be using all of this wood that's stacked up here. I will also use some starter logs and some charcoal. Okay, so I just want to let you see what it looks like before I start the burn. That way you'll see how much wood I used initially, plus I used the charcoal and the starter logs. Just to let you know, it's way below the ground level here. That's probably about 6 to 10 inches below there. Probably about 6 to 10 inches below over there. And this right here is probably about 4 inches or so below. So I think we did pretty good. I'm gonna let it smolder out, let the rain pretty much put the fire out, and I'll give it a couple of days to really cool off, because it does stay hot for a while. And after that, I'll come out with the shovel and the axe pick. I'll dig up around it, knock off all of these pieces, and then we'll level it out. I have some topsoil over there underneath the bags, and then I'll get some additional topsoil and we'll start working on the grass. And this is how I burned stump number 2. That's a good 8 inches. And I really just wanted to get it, you know, about 3 inches below. Here, this one's right at 3 or so. I'm gonna take the sledgehammer and the axe pick to the remaining wood just to get it below ground level a little more. Bad thing about this tree, the roots are terrible. If you look here, they're underground and then it comes above. So this goes all the way, and I have several of those roots above ground, and that's a whole separate project. I'm not going to worry about that now. First it was all about the stump. So now I'm just going to break away the wood here, all the brittle wood, to level it out a little bit. Then we'll take the topsoil and we'll start filling it in, and I'll let you see how that looks after I'm all done. We finished digging, not digging, but pretty much chopping down everything that has been burned to level it out. So now what I did, I took a pole, stuck it in the ground, put a rope to it. That's our highest point. And I tied a string to it. So what we're gonna do is go around like this here, all the way over here. Nothing sticking up, all the way to here. Okay, and this is the lowest point right here. The line going straight across, that's about 6 inches. The center, roughly about 3 3/4 inches, and that's about 3 1/2. Now, when you're doing this, it's about how much of the stump that you want to burn up. Unfortunately, for me in this case, there's a lot. Well, we've pretty much done the major part of the stump from the beginning to this part. However, there's so many roots and stuff sticking out of the stump. You know, you have to make a decision how far you want to go. So that, to me, that's going to be another project, because as you can see, the roots are everywhere on the ground here. From where the stump was here, the roots just keep going back, and they're throughout the yard. And the roots are throughout the yard all over the place. I have to make a decision how far I want to go. So for now, I'm going to stop just to level this part out. You know, we're going to throw the topsoil on it, digging up the roots and stuff. That's going to be a whole nother project for another time. So right now I feel pretty good about the stump, and we'll take it from there. So now let's throw some topsoil on it, and then later on throughout the year we'll you know, seed and feed it, and take some time to grow some grass. All right, let's do it. All right, so that's it. That is Stump 2 from start to finish. It's bittersweet because this particular stump has roots growing all over the place, as you can see. That's a whole nother project within itself. But as far as the basic stump, we burned it down to the ground. Of course, there's 1,000 different ways you can do it. For the next video, I have no idea what it's going to be about. It might just be about drinking some beer after burning these stumps. We'll see you next time.